how do you figure out who you are after you feel like you lost your sense of self-identity? I feel like this is one that's kind of like been going on with me right now. I feel like, man, I look at it three ways. Like, for one, you gotta sit back before you can like change your identity and change who you are. I feel like you gotta sit back and reflect. You gotta be like, okay, who was I? Who do I want to be? And who am I right now? And what's preventing me from getting to that person I want to be? And what created me into this person who I am now? And I feel like a lot of instances, like, your surroundings kind of create who you are, and like what you consume creates who you are. And a lot of times people don't realize how important all like our environment is towards our character development as people. But I say that to say that going into my next point on how you figure out who you are is by you have to be alone. And everyone hates being alone. Even sometimes I hate being alone, but I realize that being alone like gives me the most sense of clarity. Being alone gives me the most sense of knowledge, the most sense of wisdom, and the most sense of courage to authentically be myself. Because when you're alone, I look at it as like being deep in the ocean by yourself. Like, either you're gonna sink or you're gonna swim. You got to figure out who you are somewhere or another. And the people that are strong mentally, they swim, and the people who are weak, who may not like be as committed as to finding who they are, they sink. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that solitude is where you learn the most about yourself, and that's when you get to realize who you are, where you want to be, what inspires you, what makes you tick, what morals you stand on, what honors you stand on. And I feel like that's where you're gonna do the most growth as a person. Because I feel like when you're around people, like, you start to become everybody else in a way. But if you're by yourself, you can only be yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why a lot of people have like identity crisis, because they're in such these compromising environments that are compromising their character and compromising what they believe in and what, you know. And I like to kind of reflect back to who I was as a kid, like, because I feel like that's when you're most raw and you're most blissful, is when you're a child. And I try and go back to that and be like, what made the little hands happy? You know what I'm saying? What made me happy? What did I believe in? What morals did I stand on? I try and implement that in my life and not let the world around me change who I am, but always stay true to myself. And I will also say it gets to a point where you got to kind of like kill off your old identity in a way. And that's why I'm naming this video I Died and Came Back, because I feel like I killed who I was. Well, not yet. I'm still working, but I'm trying to kill off who I was and make a better version of myself, and kind of like reincarnating myself as a better version of myself. And you got to kind of get rid of your old habits, the old things that's holding you back. And it's just dead weight that you got to cut off. And a lot of people are scared to cut it off because they're scared to change. But if you want to be great, and if you want to be the best version of yourself, you got to kill off that bad version of yourself and find someone new. It's like kind of finding like a new love interest in yourself, you know. So that's kind of what I would say is how you deal with like losing your self-identity. And it's not something that's bad. Like, everybody goes through moments where they don't know who they are, but it's just about being able to reinvent yourself and being able to invent a new character. And I feel like the people who can do that are the people who are successful, the people, you know. So what type of mental barriers / self-doubts do I go through? When it comes to like mental barriers, sometimes like I be having a lack of focus. I feel like sometimes like I'll be way too focused on stuff that doesn't matter. And when you get focused on stuff that doesn't matter, you get in the flow of that, and then you start messing up, and it becomes bad. So like I would say that's one, sometimes a lack of focus. But like when I'm focused though, I'm super dialed in. I'm trying to be like that more, because what you pay attention to is what makes you rich, bro. So if you pay attention to your work and all of that, that's what's, and I mean rich like figuratively, it's gonna make you like a better person. So like I feel like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of times I can just get distracted, and that's by people, things, like whatever it may be. But your focus is so important to your development as a person. And the reason why a lot of people aren't successful is because they don't focus, and focusing will take you from here. It's crazy. So I would say like my lack of focus at times, social media at times. Sometimes social media kind of is a mental barrier for me, because it a lot like kind of makes me compare myself to people, and not in like an envious way, but makes me compare myself and be like, I don't know. I feel like social media sometimes zaps your creativity, and as a person that's trying to push a creative, like just trying to do things differently, creatively, like sometimes social media isn't the best place for me, and it can become a distraction and become a mental barrier. And it can become a mental barrier. So I feel like that's something that's also been a mental barrier for me, is social media. So I try and take time off and try to take time just creating my own world and living in it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not living in everybody else's world that I follow, but living in my own world, and, you know what I'm saying, making the most out of that world. And then when it comes to like self-doubt, sometimes like this has been recently, sometimes I be feeling like I'm not enough. Like sometimes I be feeling like I'm not enough for people, or not enough for my own goals. But then I had to like pray and sit back and think, and I'm like, man, you are enough. Like, God made you perfect, not perfect, but God made you how he wanted you to be. And he made you, I look at it like he made you like a maze. Like, he kind of wants you to learn and find your way through yourself and kind of figure yourself out. And when you get to the end goal, that's when you finally reach your purpose. So I like, sometimes if you're out there and you feel like you're not enough, just know you are. Like, it's always something to work ahead to, and it's always something that you could be better at. And that's the beauty about life, is that you can become better at stuff, and you're not going to be the same way your whole life. And always think that you're enough, because if you don't think you're enough, nobody's going to think you're enough, you know. So that's what I would say about that.